Hello and welcome to the 49th PlanetDestiny podcast. I just realized we did no prep work aside from setting up the stream today, so we don't have show notes. We got nothing. This is 100% live and unscripted. Fantastic. So I have the chat pulled up on the side here, and it's going crazy. I had never seen the chat that populated and rambunctious. So hello, awesome. Everyone in our Twitch chat. Yeah, we've been wanting to do this for a long time.
Yeah, we've only talked about this for like 8 months.
we've been talking about it for a really long time.
And I wonder if it's just your face cam that's laggy or it's all of ours. I might need to stop my local recording, right?
Yo, it's a trial run. Let's just keep rolling with it.
Just a trial run?
I suppose the first thing we should really talk about here is the microtransaction thing that's been going on this week. So let's go off with the really shitty topic of microtransactions. That's always
too bad Wally isn't here, right?
I know, right?
So what's the deal here? It's $30, and you basically upgrade a character to level. Is it 25 or 40?
25.
25, and you fill up all the nodes on a subclass.
Fill up the bubbles.
Yep.
For $30.
$30. Yep.
One. And how much does Taken King currently cost? Like, if you get the full version, you go to the store today and buy the Taken King. Does it still cost $60? I heard you can get it for for $30 on Amazon right now.
Yeah, right now you can get it for $30.
Yeah,
I believe the full price is $60.
Same version we got. You're getting the deluxe. You're getting the version that has all my blood, sweat, and tears in it.
Not that argument again. Okay.
No, I'm just saying. I'm throwing it out there.
Right, that's an amazing deal. And on the absolute opposite spectrum is the $30 for a level 25 character and a subclass boost. So direct opposites.
I apologize for immediately doing this, but I needed you, when I heard about this, I immediately thought of you, Patrick. Okay, what does World of Warcraft charge for their expansion?
World of Warcraft their expansion? World of Warcraft their expansions are typically $40 to $50, I believe. And if you're going to ask, what does the character boost in WoW cost after that? The character boost to get up to max level is the same price as like the base game. It was $60.
Wow.
But it takes you to max level though.
Takes you to max level and would give you a full set of gear and would max out one of the talent trees.
So would
you be raid ready?
No, you would be there's different tiers of the raid. You could not do the normal version of the raid. You could go into the raid finder version, which is basically like matchmaking for a raid, but it's a very low level version of the raid. But moving back over to Destiny,
can I offer like a quick point of view here that justifies these things? Is first of all, nobody has to buy these. Most Destiny players aren't going to buy them because they have no use for them because they already have 3 maxed out characters anyway. The only people that I think would buy this is somebody who just wants to play with their friends, doesn't have a lot of time. $30 is stupid expensive, but it may be worth it for some people to just be able to, I want to just get a character going and get in with my friends.
Here's the thing. You get one of those character boosts with the Taken King anyway.
Well, you don't get the subclass boost, though.
You don't get the subclass boost, but you get the boost up to level 25.
Yeah.
So,
Briar, I see what you're saying on there, because from somebody like, let's say you only have 2 hours per weekend to play the game, then and you have disposable income, you have plenty to spend. It would make sense then that you could be like, well, it's an awful deal, but at least I can max out this subclass. And like, let's say you've only been using a hunter from day one, and you've been playing the game since day one, but you have such limited time. This is a chance to start up a warlock or a titan. And the level 25 thing is weird. It should have been level 40 for that.
Should
kind of
be
money.
level 40.
Like it's just weird that they put 25 in there. But the subclass thing makes a lot of sense because a lot of times that can be a make or break it type of thing to get into some of these activities. Aside from gear,
I still haven't leveled up my Stormcaller subclass on my warlock.
Right.
Yeah, that
doesn't mean I'm going to buy one of those things. So that is a absolutely stupid price. I really feel like the only people that are going to buy this are people that don't understand like how easy it is to get level 25 and how inconsequential it is to have
it's easy to get a level 25 if you got a lot of time on your hands.
Well, now I'm going to give you my perspective, because until I started, because of the refer a friend thing, and I bought another account for my son and another PlayStation, another copy of Destiny, right? So I have 2 versions of this now, and it came with a boost. Until I wanted to get my son up and running so he could play with me, the boost was extremely successful at making him able to do a lot of the activities that I could do right off the bat and play with me, an experienced player that has like everything. So I was able to bring him up to speed really quickly so that he could do introductory at 25. He could do introductory levels of the missions, and I didn't have to be at so low a light level that I couldn't have fun. So it kind of met me in the middle in some ways. And I felt like it really allowed me to get a new player and get him running and not feel like I was burdened.
Yeah, well, this does go back to the slippery slope discussion that we always seem to go on when we start talking about microtransactions. And when we refer to the slippery slope thing, we're always kind of referencing the pay to win side of the game that people think might be coming. And I've seen a lot of people saying that this is pay to win. It's not. It's like a pay to save time function. It's there's a really big post about on Polygon about friction or something. I can't remember. I was really tired when I read it. It's the same thing that happens in PlanetSide 2, where you can grind for 10 to 20 hours and finally have enough in-game currency to buy a gun. Or you can just pay $3 and get that gun. The thing with the pay to win side of the argument that people aren't really understanding is that pay to win literally means you pay money and you will be better than someone that puts time into the game.
It's like you could only get the Thorn in year 1 by buying it.
Yeah, something like that.
I think I spent a lot of time this week thinking about this, because this is what we were worried about. What's up next? I was very staunch in defending Bungie, like, initially, right? I thought there's no way that they're going to go down this. They said it was just a placeholder, no big deal, right? But it feels like we've gone down this track, and we are like literally on that slippery slope. But I don't think that this is an example of a pay to win. I don't think this is. And I'm not pissed about it, except for the price. I think I'm right with you guys. I'm right there with you. It's stupid expensive. And
if it was like $10, I could. If it was $10, I'd be like, okay, I can almost justify that. I gotta be like, okay, I see that. But then it's still the principle of the matter. You are paying money to save time in the game, and it's just a stepping stone until we're at.
In all things, I do that. I pay a guy to work on my car. I pay a guy to paint my house. I pay a guy to do my roof, because I don't have the time to do it. Right? Like all the time I spend, fixing my car is time I could be, making money at my job, or, spending time with my kids and my family. So life is filled with, you pay to save time, right? It's all about the value of your time, how you monetize that value. And for me, especially when you're talking about a video game, it's monetizing the value of my time spent in a video game. It's pretty low, right? Like $10, even $10 for, man, it's hard to justify, spending that kind of money just to level up a character. But, for other people who just want to play with their friends and, they have trouble leveling up their character to get there, I bet they'll sell these.
If it was all 3 subclasses, I think if it was all 3 subclasses and level 40 for $10, then it would actually be a value proposition. It would be like, okay, yeah, I could see myself maybe doing that on the Xbox.
I would be even more against that than what we currently. Yeah, I would be absolutely more against that than what we currently have. Because right now, like, I'm completely against it for lots of reasons. But that is 100%. It's not pay to win, but it's at the point where it's like, well, why wouldn't I spend that measly amount of money to completely max everything out?
Yeah, but you're not getting any gear.
I know you're not getting any gear. That's not really the point. It's the fact that you're saving that much of a time investment, because it is a very big investment to level up, a character at 40 and completely max everything out. What was it that you said you wanted? Like, it was all 3 subclasses or something?
All 3 subclasses into level 40.
Oh, okay. Like that's entirely.
Well, if it was $10 and I got all 3 subclasses, I'd probably go buy one today on Xbox.
I know exactly. I probably would too.
I would just do it because
Xbox.
My problem with Xbox is I just don't have the time to maintain 3 characters on PlayStation and Xbox. So Xbox just always gets the fuzzy end of the popsicle. It's just never
fuzzy end of the popsicle.
I just never have time to play it. Like I'd like to play with all the Xbox One players out there, but I just don't have time to maintain a character over there. With
agree.
this, I would just do it. $10, I would just do it.
I agree.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I'm scared of is if they find that perfect price point where people will do that. Oh God. Like I'm just very fearful that the game will slowly start turning into that. The step will reach more and more of those stepping stones that will have this a very clear pay to win thing, and we'll be going, oh shit, how did we get here?
Yeah, but it's still not pay to win though. It's still not pay to win, even if you unlock all 3 subclasses.
You still don't have
pay to win.
You can't
pay to win would be like
probably do a Nightfall.
Yeah, exactly. Pay to win would be like saying, all right, I'm going to drop $5 and I get 5 exotic engrams. You know, I mean, I feel like that's pay to win. That's pay to win. That's suddenly paying money to get all this exotic engram stuff, or paying to get legendary engrams or a bag of engrams. Like that's going to be pay to win.
Okay, I'm seeing where you're going, Tefty. I like having some sort of boost, especially since now I'm not as we get further and further into the game and think about Destiny 2, right? We're going to have level caps in the going up above 50, 80, 100, right? If you start the game out, you're going to have to find some way of bringing these people up. So I'm fine with the boost.
Yeah, that's true. I'm
fine with the boost. Like I said, sorry to reiterate it, but I just think the price is stinky. But I am a little concerned because we're hearing rhetoric similar to what we heard at the beginning when we data mined this stuff and said,
Well, the concern is that like when Destiny 2 comes out, it's not going to be the full game that we pay for. It's going to be like, hey, here's your entry fee, which is $40 or $50 or whatever, and then you have to pay $10 for each kind of edition. That's what we're terrified of, and I hope to God that does not happen because that'd be just awful.
There's clearly something going. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tevy.
Yeah, there's clearly something going on. Exactly. There's microtransactions are here to stay. The companies are not going to suddenly be like, guys, what an awful idea. What were we thinking? Yeah. Sorry about all that. Here's all this stuff for free. That's not going to happen anytime soon, or ever. So,
at least not with this company. CD, there are some that still do it. It's once you kind of go down that road, you got to do something cataclysmic has to happen for you to stop doing that.
Yeah, the player base has to just fully atrophy or whatever. Yeah. So we have to strike I guess as a community, we have to strike a balance with what we're okay with. $30 for a subclass boost is ridiculous. But then again, somebody who only has a couple hours every week to play might be the best thing ever for them.
Well, I think we're also voting, like they were saying about Sparrow Racing League, we're voting with our controllers. I think that you need to kind of extend that. This is the free market system, right? We're voting with our wallets. And I feel like they gave us emotes that were cheap. And then they started going a little more. I think they're
$10 booklet.
Yeah, they're $10 booklet, and everybody's kind of like, what? $10 booklet? And then now they're $30. Then they're like a $30 boost.
$30 character
like,
boost.
Holy crap! So I think that they're like using this. They're gonna just keep pushing the price up until we've reached our capacity where we're no longer spending it, right?
Yeah.
So
I guess you're right.
I think as a system or economy, they're going to have to back off. They can't keep that price point. We're probably going to hear a discount or a breakdown of that price in the future.
Well, we hope. That's what we can hope for. It's just the scary thing is that what if it goes full on MMO pay structure. So.
There's plenty of microtransactions they can put in this game though without having pay to win in there. Counter-Strike Go does it very well. Call of Duty is doing it really well. Like you can buy all sorts of cosmetic stuff. You can buy a knife that looks differently. Everybody's going crazy in Call of Duty about that butterfly knife, right? It doesn't act any different. You get the same amount of kills with it, but it just looks different. Maybe it's got a little different animation. What would hunters pay? Patrick, what would you pay for a different knife,
Please don't ask
purely
that.
cosmetic.
Please don't expect an answer to that.
A different knife that comes out when you stab somebody. It is literally different.
It is that different knife.
Please don't.
Tell
Please
me like a glowing green knife or like a hot, like some sort of phosphorescent, like burning fire blade knife for you that you stick into somebody's chest, like, and it's burning and it tears them apart. Oh yeah, come on.
Dude, if they had a rainbow knife, I hit them with the rainbow stick.
And it has like a rainbow trail as it goes through the air.
Through the air.
That would be amazing.
You know what would be even better? Earning that through in-game activity instead of just fucking paying for it.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree
with you.
Agreed.
I mean, we're seeing Activision and Bungie say we need to make more money on this game. Like they're clearly sending that message to us as Destiny players, right? Mm-hmm. There's no way that they don't find year one to be a sustainable way to make this game. They need to find different ways of dragging the player base forward without selling these, big DLCs. They want to do it through microtransactions. There's tons of ways they can make microtransactions, and they can look to other Activision properties the way they do it. But they got to do it affordably. They got to do it without pissing off the player base. And any microtransaction pisses off the player base. Every single one of them. It doesn't matter what they offer. It's going to piss off the player base, especially since it hasn't been there since day one. People feel like they've been
pissed off people,
like defrauded.
I don't know. I'd probably throw money at my screen if they gave me shaders and skins for my guns.
I would like to earn it.
Yeah, I'd love to earn it, but
I like both options.
Mm-hmm. So
I don't like options.
Well, why couldn't they exist in the same environment? Why can't you have rewards that if you play?
I wouldn't mind it, to be honest. I mean, if I could get some of my friends in that can only play a tenth of what I've played, I'd prefer it.
Patrick, can we talk about something that's in the change subjects? Go to the weekly update and talk about something you can do with your friends. Speaking of loot, it's dropping like manna from heaven in Sparrow Racing League.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, oh my god, it is so cool.
Basically, Sparrow Racing League is how loot drops in like Diablo and those types of games. Like it's just constant barrage of loot. You get a thing. You get a thing. Oh, you've been playing for your third game. Here's a shader,
and you get a car.
It's hey, Bungie, you know what'd be really cool? If the loot system was like this in everything in the game.
Let's say, what do we like? What do we like about
I like
Sparrow
the new shaders. I love the Sparrow Racing League shaders. They're awesome. Mm-hmm. I like
that
that
guy
you
needs to get a
raise,
helmet, right?
What?
The guy who designed the Sparrow Racing League shaders.
What are you talking about? He had like a year vacation. We haven't seen that guy since.
He needs a raise. Whoever designed them is just like, I love every one of them. They're freaking awesome.
I don't know what you're talking about. Those shaders were originally put into year one, and they didn't even get put.
That shipped on disc. That was on disc.
Shipped on disc.
Come on, like I want to stay positive. I want to stay positive. Sparrow Racing for me is something exciting.
In the bright pink shader is the best experience.
Putting a pink shader on a Titan who's got these gigantic shoulders, and a mohawk helmet, and you're telling me pink doesn't look amazing?
And you got to match it with the Sparrow. So you got to have the pink Sparrow to go with
it.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
I absolutely love that pink shader because
I just want polka dots.
They're just so bright. They're so bright, and then you see them at the end of a hallway, and it makes it so easy to shoot them in the face in PvP if they're wearing that pink shader. It's fantastic.
I love the pink shader. I feel like a real man when I wear that thing.
It's not pink, it's salmon.
I also like that you're getting 320 helmets out of it. I like that you can get
320 class items as well.
What's that? Yep. I like that you can get like arms, legs, and chest, but they don't have, they're valuable for racing, but they don't have any other value to them, right? Like you're not going to bring those into the Crucible because they basically you're just wasting.
But the cool thing about it is that you're getting helmets that have like Angel of Angel of
Mercy.
Angel of Mercy, right?
Yeah, you can absolutely bring those into the Crucible.
Yeah, so there are I think that some of the perks coming down off of the Sparrow Racing League armor is cool. It's really good.
And farming 3 of coins with Sparrow Racing, I think this is just as fast as actually when we started farming 3 coins and we were just like loading the same boss over and over again.
Over and over
yeah,
again.
It's about the same rate that I'm using 3 coins at this point.
Sounds about right. Yeah,
it is very quick because you're done with a race in like 4 or 5 minutes, and
isn't there a cooldown, Briar? Isn't there?
There is a cooldown, but
we were trying to guess what it is. Like you do a race, and then you can't. So you use up a 3 of coins, right? And is it 1 or 2 races that you have to do before you can activate it again?
Yeah, I don't. I've with the cooldown.
The thing is, you can activate it back to back to back, and you can get them back to back to back. The cooldown is just it reduces the chances of you getting it.
Okay.
I've been really unlucky with it, by the way.
Really,
so my exotic drops. It's like 1 out of every 15 3 of coin. It's kind of driving me crazy.
All right, I don't want to tell you.
Friday and Saturday.
Pope, your RNG needs to go to the trash bin.
I've already gotten all the exotics from doing it.
Stop soaking it up for everybody.
Sorry.
On Friday and Saturday, I played a lot of sparrow racing on Friday, and then Saturday I played a lot of trials. And I was using 3 coins like crazy, right? I just went to Zur and bought a snot load of them.
Sure.
And I was using them like every match, and I got like 10 exotic engrams over the 2 days.
Oh my god! Not me.
Insane.
Not me, man.
Nope.
No Twilight Garrison though. Rip.
33 a coin, like 2 or 3 exotics. That was it.
Really?
Yeah, I got shafted.
Sucks to be you.
Yep.
So what there's a couple things that I also felt were really cool about Sparrow Racing League is that you could bring all your friends in, right? You could bring up to 6 people in, and is it just me or has the matchmaking in that gotten really difficult? Like there's some sweaty races going on right now. Like
did you see the top times in weekly update? I mean, people are going through there fast.
Yeah, no, I'm running. Yeah. It's rubbing is racing. Like I think they're using Crucible matchmaking right now, and you're getting to a point. Yeah, it's nuts. Like the faster I get, like I'm matching up against people that all of a sudden that pack of people that are bumping into each other, they're all similar skill level to me, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's harder to break away from the pack than it was at the beginning.
I actually wait. Every time I do a sparrow race, I just let everyone take off, and then I go like a second or 2 after that because I'm tired of bumping around and then getting careened into something and then getting put even further back. So I just kind of wait for everyone else to mess up, and then I get in that second place.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch the Bungie bounty?
No,
I did not. No,
it was.
I didn't get a chance to watch it.
It was really cool. I'm glad that they brought it back. Thankfully, well, I mean, Deej wasn't racing. He was sitting in the middle of the couch, and he was rotating.
He was racing at the start.
Well, he raced a little bit at the end, but for the bulk of it, he was bringing in people that we could meet from the studio, which I thought was really cool. And
that is cool.
Yeah, and I think they gave out a lot of shaders. Or
is that VOD on their Twitch channel?
Emblems.
There's probably a VOD out of it.
Yeah,
they're doing it with Xbox too on the 22nd.
Yep, next week. Yep,
nice. It's good. It's good.
Did anybody watch King Ithalian and Bromance?
No, I missed that one.
The streamer tournament.
Oh my god, that was amazing. This is what custom games could bring to Destiny because it really showed off being able to set up custom games. They had 4 brackets of 6 people each, and they just set them up in a tournament. It was exciting to follow your favorite streamer through the tournament. They were able to, start the matches when they wanted to start them, which was good for broadcasting, and they were able to live commentate over the matches. It was
who was doing the
future
commentary?
Of Destiny. Broman and King Ithalian.
Oh, that's gonna be funny.
It was funny. It was very funny. They did a good job. Everybody had to wear like aviator glasses. They were all dressed up. T-Rex was wearing like big ass goggles that like a World War II pilot would have worn. Yeah. It was funny. It was it was well presented, but it also showed off like if they brought custom games or private matches into the Crucible at large, like the future is endless, man. It'd be so much fun.
It would explode.
Yeah,
it'd be every weekend as a tournament.
Yeah,
and it'd be exciting to watch.
Yeah, it is exciting to
watch.
Really
need this.
Yeah.
Why do you think League of Legends? Why do you think League of Legends is like one of the top viewed things on Twitch every single day? It's because there's tournaments going on.
I'm pretty sure there must be boobies in that game because I don't get it otherwise.
That's
boobies in the jungle. Go look.
That's the only reason why.
Yeah, that's what's in that goddamn jungle.
I watch hours of League of Legends, but I don't find any. What's going on? That's so funny.
It's true though. I mean, Destiny is I feel like it reached a boiling point, and that's why as soon as we got a sparrow racing mode that could have people actually queue up against each other properly, it was like immediate, and it was immediately successful also for those guys. I think, didn't Gathalion tweet out that there was like 50,000 follows overall
60,
in the Destiny directory?
It's 40 or 60,000. I can't remember the exact number, but that many more new follows created during that time because people
just from that tournament that they put together.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it is something that we absolutely need as a community and as
we need to
just for like streamers alone, like the kind of ability to make it vibrant or be even more vibrant than what it is already would just be incredible.
Yeah.
Bungie, please.
Don't you want to see your favorite streamers all like get into one like Royal Rumble death match and just fight it out till the end? Like, I want to see that. That'd be fun as hell to watch.
We could have a PlanetDestiny tournament.
Yeah.
Awesome.
God, that would be great.
We would gladly host it too.
Host it
If you could do it in an easier method. It's like, I love competitive matchmaking. I would love to be able to be like, hey, my competitive team is on. I would love to be able to go against other competitive teams right now in a competitive type list.
Right.
And then, so then you know what you're getting into. And then when my regular clanmates are on, who maybe haven't set foot in PvP in the past 3 or 4 weeks and are rusty as hell, they don't want to go into PvP and then just get headshotted from across the map by a guy wielding No Land Beyond for the entire map.
So what do you want, like a ranked playlist and an unranked playlist?
Yeah, sure. We can go with that. The interesting thing with the matchmaking is that this is information that I've gleaned from Crucible Playbook subreddit because they've been researching it a little bit. Apparently, players are getting matched up more based upon their skill, and location isn't being taken into account as much anymore. Because my personal every time I play, I am seeing more like yellow and red bars, because I'm getting matched against people in like Europe, people in Japan.
I've never seen. See that if the player base gets smaller though, because the pool as the player bases move to Black Ops 3, to Fallout 4, to other games, to Sparrow Racing, your pool is getting smaller and therefore spread out more. You got less water and it's spread out more across the planet, so you're just going to see worse connections. I
just have such a difficult time believing that the player base is so thin that 100% of the non-competitive players are going to play Sparrow Racing League and all of the competitive players are going to play normal Crucible, thus causing the like gap or the very
Destiny took, because Call of Duty had such a bad year last year with Advanced Warfare, Destiny ate up a lot of those players. And now Call of Duty is back. And a lot of those players have gone back. A lot of those people basically took a year off Call of Duty and came to Destiny, and now we're going back to Black Ops 3. So, and those are the competitive players. Those are the people you're going to find the Crucible the most, right? They didn't play, they didn't raid, they didn't do Nightfalls. They were in there to play Crucible. That's what they were missing from their Call of Duty stuff. That's why I came to Destiny. I just didn't go back. I mean, you're definitely going to see the player base move on, and Destiny's not offering anything new right now, so they're not going to come back until Destiny does.
I think it's got to be a combination of both. I feel like the algorithms for matchmaking maybe have some sort of thresholds of how they handle it, depending on the numbers that are in the population. So maybe we're experiencing the feel of a different algorithm because the numbers have shifted to a different threshold, and that sucks. But it's also part of the reality. I do also think though that the actual networking that they've done, and I've mentioned this in the last podcast, that the actual peer-to-peer code that they've written feels like it's old. It just other games don't have these problems.
See, I feel like it got better with the Taken King. When the Taken King came out, I feel like it got better. It's never going to be perfect. It's peer-to-peer, but I feel like it got better.
I mean, it's a green bar, and a guy snipes me, and I have enough time to walk around the corner, to have my orb around the corner. And it's a green bar? Like, what? That makes no sense.
Well, have you guys experienced lagging in the Sparrow Racing?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the fan blades. Those fan blades.
The glitch.
Oh my God, those
decide to
fan
just twitch a
blades.
bunch. That they just wave at you a
spin
bunch
in front of you, and then the back 4 feet and then come back 4 feet, and you're like, whoa, which way do I go? And then hit the boost.
And suddenly an ogre shows up and detonates.
Ogre teleports. Is that too soon? So
when I was racing my sparrow.
Just a heads up, in the weekly update, they you still have a few days. If you're listening into the chat right now, to submit a video in consideration for the Sparrow Racing League Film Festival. There's some pretty sweet loot. They showed it on the live broadcast yesterday. They have a PS4 and an actual PS4 copy of the game. Some really cool stuff that they're giving away to the winners of the Sparrow Racing League Film Festival. So make sure if you've got a need for speed. Thank you. You push it out there and get a video going for that.
What's the popular Fast and Furious?
Fast and Furious.
Do like a trailer
Sparrow
overdub
mode
with Sparrow Racing.
Well,
I think that would be awesome.
So the next item on this weekly update is go out with a bang. Hours after Amanda takes down the flags for her, wait for it, holiday event. Boom. The Honorable Saladin.
Did Cosmo write that?
He has to have.
That had to have been Cosmo.
Yeah, because Deej wouldn't go cheesy like that.
Deej would. No, that was Cosmo.
That had to be Cosmo. Anyway, so I guess the Iron Banner's back. So we finish up with the Sparrow Racing League and we get Iron Banner. I know what I'm excited about, but there's some
better matchmaking and people to shoot at instead of racing sparrows.
Okay, Patrick's
I'm
out of
sorry.
this
I'm sorry.
Iron Banner is the epitome, though, of bad peer-to-peer connections for
All
me.
right,
and
stop.
Destiny.
Briar, what are you excited about?
I want to get my hands on that auto rifle.
Thank you.
I want to see if the shotgun is. It looks like Fellwinter's Lie. I'm hoping it's not Fellwinter's Lie. That Titan helmet looks boss. The little thing on the top.
It does.
I'm not gonna lie. I am a PlayStation user, and the PlayStation exclusive gear looks pretty good.
It's so nice, man.
For all the Xbox users, if I get anything on the PlayStation, I'll dismantle it for you. So it's a little sacrifice.
There you go.
Yeah,
I'm glad you're willing to make that sacrifice.
You make that sacrifice.
I don't mind.
That Titan helmet looks amazing. It reminds me of the Guardian or the Protector from Thor. You know, the one that was made of metal and fire inside. The helmet looks like that, and I don't know. I have to have it. I'm going to be grinding just mad amounts of Iron Banner.
I finally made a decision this week. I had to start getting rid of Vault of Glass and Crow Design raid gear. Like, I just had to start deleting it. I'm sad. I don't want to. Vault of Glass especially.
Me too. I deleted a lot of year one stuff this week.
I'm really looking forward to getting that auto rifle too, and I don't know. It's the gear for me that's gonna do it. I gotta have it.
Yeah, that's what brings me to Iron Banner. I always want that gear.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to get something, turn in those bounties, whatever, get the gear. Ultimately, though, I'm probably gonna go back to the Mighty multi-tool. So, like, on one end, it's awesome to get the gear, sure, but it's probably not gonna change what I use.
So it's the Destroyer. Chat, let us know. It's called the Destroyer.
The auto rifle is?
No, the
helmet
protector.
Sector. Okay.
Yeah, the helmet looks like the Destroyer.
Because that would make a good name for basically any of those things.
Yeah. So
what was it? There was like the class item, the Mantle of Inmost Light, or something like that. So dramatic sounding.
Yeah. Well,
anyway.
Iron Banner starts 10 a.m. Pacific, Tuesday, December 29th. And the game returning will be Control.
Yeah, it's going back to
Why didn't they do Rift? Or
I want to see Rift.
It would have been so great. End of the year Rift, Iron Banner. I'd have been like, okay, so I shot the guy, he didn't die. Whatever, it's Rift. Let's have some fun.
Let's go do Rift.
But instead, I'm just going to be like,
Rift, the match will be over in like 5 minutes anyway.
Yeah,
because
fast.
Because the lagging team, they just cap it so quick, right?
Yeah.
So we get the boots at rank 3, the helmet and auto rifle at rank 4, and the shoddy at rank 5.
Nope, I have no reason to get to rank 5.
So while you're playing it, I don't think we're going to get the same loot drop system as Sparrow Racing League, unfortunately, but there are going to be some post-game drops, and rank 2 will get the helmets. Rank 3 you'll be available for class items and auto rifles, and rank 4 shotguns.
I like playing Iron Banner. It's casual for me. I jump in there. Usually I jump in there solo. Every once in a while I'll jump in there with a team of like a fairly large team. But I find that it's more frustrating with a team because I feel like I get worse connections as a team than when I just jump in there casually and start messing around.
Because everyone's from around the country, and then you're having to pick people from an even wider net to come play you, and then you're just gonna get a bunch of red bars. You got Christmas lights going on the side of the screen.
Yeah,
you got
but I'm trying hard. Trials is there for that, but Iron Banner is just more of a. I'm just messing around here, grinding out loot.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Trials, how did you guys like the Drifter map?
I liked it. I thought it was fun
this week.
Yeah, I had to adjust.
Garbage.
You didn't like it, huh?
Never want to see it again.
Really? Could you elaborate on that, please, Sir Tefty?
I mean, if you're going up against a try-hard team, you might as well switch to shotguns in Shade Step or whatever. I mean, it was okay. There's a counter to this. Widow's Court is the sniper's epitome. So all the people who like to use shotguns complain about that. So I do see that. So I am more. I prefer the sniper. I will switch to a shotgun if needed, but I felt like it was just a bad map for Trials. Just bad map for Trials. It shouldn't come back in rotation.
Tefty. I had fun. I felt like you could snipe on that map. You could shotgun on that map. We had a run. I think we lost out our seventh win, but we just went Telesto only. Nobody could use anything but Telestos. That was super
Telesto
fun.
Was deadly on that map.
Yeah, because you had those tight corridors. That was super fun. I had a great time. I liked how it had that big open area in the middle, but then those corridors around the edges that were real tight and claustrophobic, but there were multiple routes to flank. It was fun. I had a good time in that map.
I absolutely love this map because of the flanking, flanking possibilities. Yeah. Like a lot of teams, they would just kind of go into the top middle or bottom area or just go into straight middle. And there were so many routes to get behind them and even like in the top area, there were those little cross channels that you can kind of juke people in. They're like, oh, he's coming up on me. Oh, wait, he's actually in the below tunnel, and you like loop back up around behind him and throw a trip mine against the wall. And I don't know, it was a very interesting
really
map.
Good.
Yeah,
trip mine's really great for that map.
I really like that map.
The upgraded Striker Titan too, so I was flying around the map with my Striker Titan and just matching people with my pistol.
I ate a few shoulder charges this week.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen normally in Trials. Yeah. I ate quite a few shoulder charges.
I liked it. I liked the map, but I felt that when people were maybe outclassed a little bit, like they were starting to feel like they were losing the map, they turtled up in their spawn. And or some teams just that was their strategy. And it's frustrating because it just makes, they lose anyway, but they lose and it takes a really long time. Like the games are boring to me. So they sit there and they will peek out and wait for that one lucky shot, and then I'll rush, right? Or they just sit there and then they'll rush the spawn point. I don't know. It just was a strategy that I felt made the game slow and not fun. But when I felt like I was coming up against other teams that were setting up for different activities, they're setting up in different areas or different zones, I liked Drifter for that. But, you had to have a mixture of maybe one sniper and a couple shotties. I felt like you had to kind of mix up your team.
Or Telesto.
Here's my feeling. Here's why. Because we won most of the games doing the Trials carries, and so I'm not complaining about didn't get to the lighthouse or anything like that. We took people to the lighthouse. The fact is, when you get to the sweaty matches, it gets boiled down to if you run aggressive shotgun heavy playstyle,
right?
You have a favorable you have a favorable place on that map, and I don't like to run that way. So for me,
right,
I'm not gonna enjoy that.
Right. So
and
somebody that would complain about Widow's Court, right, because it's a sniper heavy map, would like this one, right? So it's a trade off.
Yeah, exactly. It is a trade off, and I have to be like, I do consider that. I just feel like if you are a high skilled player running with a team of aggressive shotgun people, like you have a serious advantage in that map, because it was very easy to get around the map and in dodge. Well, I mean, we went up against like a couple teams that had some aggressive shotgun action, and I prefer to snipe. But that being said, like, it shouldn't be that only snipers can prevail in the game, because that's not right either.
Right.
So,
well, 3 out of 4 beards agree that Drifter is a good map.
I guess I get this.
I never want to see Drifter again. Thank you very much.
I could see it again. I enjoyed it. I thought that I didn't enjoy it, but I enjoyed that it challenged me to change my play style, and I put on a shotgun for the first time in a long time.
Dirty.
Wow.
You dirty Pope Bear.
Can we talk a little bit about the kind of the current meta of the Crucible right now? What are you guys thinking? I've heard a lot of people complaining that they don't like it right now, and I'm having like the time of my life, and I don't understand the disconnect.
Well, if this meta would just not have the last word, or surprisingly Thorn,
it's back.
I think this meta would be fantastic.
Thorn is back.
In normal Crucible, I haven't raged that hard since pre-Taken King. Yeah. When I ran up against a team where 3 people were using Thorn, and just seeing that flash of green on my screen again and hearing that hiss and watching my health not regenerate.
So it's not the same Thorn that it was, though.
It's not the same Thorn, but it still pisses me off because of what it used to be, plus the fact that it's a dot and my health can't regen, and that has absolutely no place being in the game on a primary weapon when the health pools are as they are in this game.
Yeah, Bungie, it's almost like having a 2-shot headshot.
Bungo, why you do this?
Bungo, why you do this to us? To me, the real resurgence was Last Word.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Last Word's everywhere, especially Sniper Last Word.
Yeah,
everybody's running Sniper Last Word, but I don't know. I don't find it that hard to overcome. It's like there's kind of this middle distance where you can really you can exploit both.
Yeah, that's what I find too. I mean, last night playing Skirmish, it was like I'd switch in and out of Last Word and Might Multi-Tool, and actually I tried to Hawksaw as well. I had a different Hawksaw that I had not pulled out of the vault, and was trying that out. And, it's surprisingly balanced at the moment, but Last Word and Mida have some definite advantages.
I feel like the biggest advantage with Last Word is just the maneuverability, and you're just a little harder to hit than other people.
With Mida?
You strafe that much faster back and forth, and people just have a harder time kind of following up with those shots. That's my experience with Mida. It doesn't feel like it's killing faster than other guns.
Yeah, I think Mida is like the quintessential exotic, and I feel like it represents what exotic should be. An exotic perk that helps the player in a unique way, but doesn't give them a bonus to their damage.
Even though Last Word isn't as bad as it was in year 1, it's not the scout rifle it was in year 1. And, it's a more reasonable gun.
However, the first curse is now a scout rifle.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It's incredible.
I don't have any experience with it.
Pope, I wanted to go back to what you just said about Mida. I was thinking, what does Destiny really, really need right now? And one of the things that I saw Wally put out was that video on a extra, or being able to make more orbs using a Night Stalker build plus Dragon's Breath or something like that. And then he put out another one with Invective. Right now, there's no real builds that you can do per se. You can have a build where you will make more orbs, for your team. But aside from very, very just off the wall builds, there's no customizability where it's like, hey, I really like playing, as this really mobile type character, and so you use the Might Multi-Tool. But there's not a lot of random builds that you can do similar to other games of this scope. Just look at Bloodborne. I was playing that a ton yesterday, and I ended up replaying it because I wanted to do a different build so I could use this one particular weapon. I think it'd be really cool if the exotic weapons could kind of amplify the specific talents and builds that we have in some ways. Because right now we can go high agility and Mida or something like that, and just more along those lines.
Yeah, I also feel like something like Fabian Strategy could have taken a step in that direction and been locked into something that was with your subclass. And if we started seeing more exotics that were tied into subclass traits to amplify them or enhance them in some way, then there really is build viable loadouts that you can start making.
We really are close to having them, where some Defender Titans are using
No backup plans in a shotgun.
No backup plans in a shotgun. Like that's a very obvious build.
That's a good
one. But there's other ones with like a higher impact sniper and weapons of light in PvP.
Yeah.
You know, it's cheap as hell, but it is still a build that you are actively choosing to go for.
Also, Night Stalker mixed in with Keen Scout and the Mida, and you put max agility, your top speed is ridiculous.
Right.
Like, it is insane. And you have that increased map awareness. It's really awesome.
Yep, it's a very like I want to see more from that in Destiny because right now we're so close to having it.
Because you're so close to having a overpowered subclass. Like I mean, like just a hair. You know, like even once you start getting that Keen Scout with the Mida multi-tool, like all of a sudden you got these guys that are just flying around the map. You know,
well, the counter to that is to get to that max agility as a hunter, you either have to not have max armor or not have max recovery. So either you're going to be taking slightly less damage, or you're going to be taking a lot more damage, but be able to recover faster. Like
a lot more damage. So armor in the Crucible is not that big.
Armor, it's not that big of a deal, but it is big enough deal when you add in burns from some subclasses or Thorn.
There's like
it's a big deal when you get pulse rifles. Pulse rifles are still a pretty big deal when it comes to armor. So like it is a choice. Trip mines are a thing. You know, you will die or you won't die based on your armor selection. So it is there. So yeah,
it's there, but it's not.
It's there, but it's not huge.
Yeah, it's not a huge difference.
I mean, it's something that we're gonna have to walk down with year 2. Or I mean, with Destiny 2 when it eventually comes out and if Bungie starts going in that direction, do they make it a more complicated system, or do they stick with what they have and be a little more broader to digest? Because that's ultimately the trade-off, is that our systems get more complex and the game becomes more complex to understand, or we have something that's a little more casual focused. Because, I mean, Destiny is on the casual side.
I think we can have both, at least in terms of exotics. That's one of the things that I think needs to be expanded on in the game right now is just exotics in general. We have exotics that either are the definition of an exotic weapon, like Dragon's Breath or, No Land Beyond. These very unique weapons in both their design principles and how they actually play. And then so then that exists in kind of one pile right there. And then we have the Mida multi-tool type weapon that can help you define that play style. And I'd like to see not necessarily a separation of the weapons just into those two, but a more defined line between like this is a unique weapon like Dragon's Breath. It's going to do this one particular thing that's pretty cool, yada yada. It feels exotic. And there's this other type that you can really kind of play around with and work it into your play style to then make a build off of it.
They're testing that out with class specific exotics, and it's going to be interesting to see if they in Destiny 2 or in maybe if we get more exotic guns like this that are tied to a class. Are you guys in favor of that or no?
I like it. I think it's fun.
I like the experiment, and I like how they very clearly tried to not make those exotics overpowered in any sense. And it's unfortunate that Tlaloc is overpowered, but only when you have your super up. Like it's one of the absolute best weapons in the game. Like it's easily in the top 3 when you have the super up. Outside of that, it's just another scout rifle.
Yeah, scout rifles are in a good place right now, though. The whole I think the whole meta is in a good place really right now. Like I can succeed with Monte Carlo. I can succeed with auto rifles, hand cannons, every gun, every primary weapon in the game right now. I can succeed with.
I love that. I love that.
I like that too.
So you know what?
That wasn't the case 4 months ago.
I've been playing a lot of Crucible, just rotating the guns. Like I've been ranking up guns that I normally would just shard, and I tweeted out about it yesterday. Last night I got one of the worst heavy machine guns you could ever get. It's a Diluvian, like
oh yeah, I know that
Diluvian 10x
you're like
10/4x.
After the what's the rocket launcher we get all the time? The Diluvian I got, and the only thing that caught my eye is that it had counterbalance and persistence on it, and I'm like, my Doctrine of Passing has those. Let me see if it has what else it has. And I opened it up. It had braced frame, It had persistence, and it had it had that counterbalance.
It's a hot piece of junk.
So it was a hot piece of junk. So I looked at it and I'm like, I'll rank it up. So it has exactly the same perks as the Doctrine of Passing. I took it into Crucible, and it had the fastest time to kill of any machine gun I've brought into Crucible. I'm telling you,
it's really good.
It is insane. And so because now more guns are viable, I'm taking a look at their base stats and their perks before I delete them, because I'm finding these kind of jewels that I normally, no matter what the perk system, that heavy machine gun was toast against any rocket launcher. So why even bother? So, but now, auto rifles, I'm looking at them. Counterbalance, if they have crowd control, I'm a big fan of crowd control.
And you know what would make that whole system even better? If we got more drops. If they just dropped more. So then it's like, oh, I got these 5 auto rifles. I got these 5 different weapons today. Let's look at it. Yeah. Oh, that one might be cool. That one might be cool. Sure. And then maybe just maybe, if it didn't take it takes 20 motes if you on a primary weapon if you have a telemetry active. I think it's like 40 if you don't. I think it's like 14 on a secondary and then 11 on a whatever. If it took less motes to actually level those things, or maybe if the quest XP actually applied to the weapon, so that if you have a full grip of 16 bounties, put it in there, maybe more than like half of the first bubble gets leveled up. I don't have to spend 250 motes.
Yeah, wow. The Salty Patrick podcast.
It just triggered. It just triggered something in me. I'm sorry.
Honestly, you get so much more armor right now. It's ridiculous. Yeah, you do. You get like so 9 pieces of armor to every 1 weapon.
Right. They really dropped it.
I've been getting some pretty good drops this week. Real good. Out of the challenge mode.
Yeah. Oh my God, challenge mode.
That's what I was wanting to talk about. Hey, thank you, Briar. So challenge mode came out. Tefty, yeah, you and I did that right when it went live, and
we sure did.
First off, we had to bang our head against the wall for about an hour and 30 minutes trying to figure out what the challenge was. It was about an hour and a half before we finally conceded to the chat and said, okay, I guess we'll try the 16 orb strategy.
That used to crash the game.
It used to crash the game.
Do it this way.
Ninja fixed it.
Yeah, they did, and then
it used to crash the game on older consoles. It didn't crash the game on newer gen, but it was just funny because like I remember very clearly stating in the chat, like, it's not going to be 16 orbs. There's no way they'd do that. Yeah. We're not going to try it. And then some guy ended up going into, I think it was Giggle Monster's Twitch, said, hey, we completed it. We used 16 orbs. And then he did it, and it worked. And I was just like, oh, God damn it. No.
So, you know what's funny is that we did that. So we did it after the fact. My team did it on Wednesday after everybody. We already knew the strat, so we weren't worrying about it. We went through, and we beat it on the first try. And it was crazy. Like, I think that our strategy of doing orcs was harder than the 16 orb strat.
Yeah, this is great.
And like the only thing that you really have to be aware of is, have enough special or heavy to kill the shade of orcs in between every round. But you don't have to worry about running around.
Guys with whatever that freaking gun is, the auto scout rifle.
Touch malice. There you go.
We just put 2 guys up on the top pillar with a Titan bubble that's got blessing. So that they can just keep dipping in and out of the light. They never have to stop firing, and they just blow those ogres out of the water. The guys on the platforms down below don't even have to fire on their ogres. They just sit way back, wait for their knights to come up, 2-shot their knights, and then jump up to the platforms. No ads ever shoot the guys on the platforms because they haven't drawn any aggro on anything on the map. Because those 2 guys up there with Touch of Malice can kill those ogres so fast that they don't have to throw grenades. They don't have to shoot them with snipers. They just sit there and watch them die.
Have you tried it with the perk that's on the helmets called like Take That or something? I have it on my Titan, and it increases precision damage against I think Taken as well. And I believe the ogres count as Taken.
They're Taken, right?
Yeah, they count as Taken even though they don't look Taken. But it basically, if you have Touch of Malice, it's like a crit will do like 3,000 damage, and the extra damage procs kind of like Hive Disruptor did. It'll be like 2,600 as well. It's like, What? You annihilate those ogres if you have that take that thing procced as well.
So again, Holtz and I, we were in a team of raiders that have raided before in season.
It was Solarity Clan.
It was Solarity Clan.
We ran with our normal clan.
I did the Tower Talk podcast and talked about how it was easy. We all talked about how it was easy mode. Robbie hadn't done it yet, and then the following, right after that, then Robbie and I decided to raid, and we invited some subs in to play with us. And it did not go good.
It didn't go good.
It did not go good.
What was happening?
There was from glitches from the ogres transferring.
I've heard a lot about that.
There is
some reason.
A lot of to
just coordination between everybody making sure the ogres die fast enough.
Mm-hmm.
All kinds of little things added up to being a very difficult situation. That it was night and day. When we did it, it was like we could have done 8 ogres.
Oh yeah, like those ogres were dead before their standing up animations were finished in our runs.
It was so quick.
Yeah,
I mean the timing and the damage that was being dealt was just like immediate. We just knocked it out, and then with a team that hadn't raided together before, we were like, yeah, let's do this. It did not go anywhere near that easy, and we weren't able to finish it because my internet eventually died because Comcast was giving me the shaft.
So Comcast was being Comcast? That's not news.
Comcast was Comcast to me. Amazing, right?
Yeah, amazing.
So it was interesting having the two perspectives. Like one team just being filthy, destroying it immediately. And then another team experiencing what might be what a common LFG group is going to go through.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to experience that side of it. And it's a dark side, guys.
It is a dark side. It's not a happy place.
I run
the raid 3 times
a week on stream. I didn't do it today, but I do it 3 times a week. I bring subscribers through the raid or viewers through the raid, and you never know. You never know. You could have somebody who just cannot stay alive on a platform. You can have people up top that just can't kill ogres fast enough. You can have runner that's too fucking slow. Like the guy just doesn't get to that brand fast enough. He doesn't get to the middle fast enough. So you got a bunch of guardians waiting in the middle for the brand to come. Like it's tougher when you don't have a well-oiled machine, and that's I think where challenge mode, the disconnect between the 1% and the 99% that we were talking about a few weeks ago. That's a big disconnect in challenge modes.
Mm-hmm. And one of the other interesting things is you guys know, like I think it was 2 weeks ago before the patch went live, someone soloed Oryx. Someone soloed Oryx. And then once the patch came out, Fusion Rifle or Sleeper Simulant got like a really weird stealth nerf where you couldn't just like charge fire. You couldn't do it quickly. It was charge fire, and then you had to wait an invisible like half second to second. And that extra amount of time that you had to wait, you weren't able to stagger Oryx anymore. So you had to perfectly time your Sleeper Simulant shots to cause him to stagger. And that means you had to use 3 shots, which means you had to get even more heavy ammo during the whole deal. So, turns out someone finally sold it again yesterday. I can't remember his name. I'm sorry. Again, after the patch, even after everyone theorized that it couldn't be done. So
there is a definite divide between teams that raid together often.
Sure.
And LFG, a lot more than I think Voltaglass and Crotozent are experienced. I think the divide is wider on this because the mechanics are more complex. And I like King's Fall. I think it's a great raid. It's my favorite raid. But in terms of streaming, I preferred streaming Voltaglass and Crotozent more.
It was easier.
You have to have so much more gun skill or just general thumb skill and aiming in King's Fall than you.
Yeah.
Than you do.
I don't even find it that. I have to be an active participant in most of the fights in King's Fall. In the other raids, when I was streaming, I could be half paying attention to chat and half paying attention to what basically my team was doing. I just had to stay alive. In King's Fall, I have to be an active participant, and often I have to be driving the action. Like if I'm on a weak team, I have to be like really trying to.
You have to hurt.
You got to be calling shots.
Yeah, you got to be calling shots.
You got to explain mechanics. You got to say why did that happen. This is why. Like, here's how to prevent it.
Yeah. And like often, like when we're dying on Oryx, I'm quizzing people. Okay, what happened? What killed you?
There you go.
The acolytes or the acolyte eye in the middle killed me. I'm like, okay, make sure you back up all the way to the back of your platform. You know, just kneel there. Don't shoot at the ads because that just draws aggro to you. And as soon as he gets the light up top, make sure you're jumping up to the top, and that usually solves it. But you got to do that for like everybody in an LFG.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that also what's frustrating for some people is that they see the loot that's dropping.
Oh, it's big.
Oh my gosh. Like the calcified fragment, the 50th, calcified fragment drops and you get...
And we get a shader.
Well, I mean,
swanky ass shader from Eris.
We don't know yet.
Mm-hmm. What's that?
It's possible we could get more. We don't know yet.
There might be a time gate.
So we've got a shader
on your Titan.
On my Titan.
It looks good on a Titan. It looks
great on a
Titan. Hunter. Yeah. It looks horrible.
Yeah, it's awful on a Hunter.
Briar and I
it's bad Halloween on a Hunter.
Yeah, I'm happy.
So, and then the ship.
The ship is so slick.
That
ship looked awesome.
That looks
when we had a fleet of those ships in the loading screen. It looked like we were like, oh my god, we're like Battlestar Galactica right now. This looks awesome.
And in the past, there's always been 2 ships for raids. So could we get a Herald version of that ship somehow?
A black one and all black one, so then it's completely stealth in space.
That would be sick.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I want that.
I'm cool with it.
I've been getting hard mode helmets dropping at 320. Primary weapons dropping at 320.
Briar, did you get a 320 helmet?
I got one. I got one.
I didn't get a single one. I'm so pissed off because the challenge is going away. It's gonna be War Priest again next week. I gotta wait 3 weeks. Oh my god.
I got a 320 helmet, but I didn't get a single weapon. I think that was the thing. Is like you either get armor, you get a 320 piece of armor or a 320 weapon. You don't get both of them.
I got 2 auto rifles and a hand cannon. I wanted to be like, really? Really?
That is the worst that could have happened.
Oh my god! I got the.
Well, I got. Why aren't you happy? They got a 0.0.
Yeah, 0.4% increase in that damage.
0.04 increase.
Oh my god!
0.07
that's my question.
God, well, just shredding those patrol enemies.
And I'm gonna respond to that in just a second because I think that buff was perfect for the auto rifles. But yes, I do. So I'm gonna go back to that, but I got some pretty sweet loot for that.
I'm not surprised.
That doesn't surprise me either.
I got a helmet, obviously, and then I got a scout rifle, 320 scout. I found that the challenge mode was satisfying for me for Oryx. Like I feel like it disappointed for the first fight. Golgoroth was,
Golgoroth was right on the money. That was a good challenge. I think the Oryx one is also a good challenge because
if it doesn't lag, if it's legit, I think that if it's legit, however, whatever they had to do to the code to fix it so that it wouldn't crash the game,
cause more lag,
cause them to teleport. I think that's my arm.
If you're running into that stuff, there's tricks you can use to try and mitigate it a little bit. Go back out to orbit, try and change the fire team leader.
That's what
do that kind of stuff and see if it.
Yeah.
You guys think it's possible that we're just going up against more sweaty AI?
It could be. There's less AI.
The AI are playing other games.
Well, see that's the typical. That's what you do. And when you're launching a war against someone, you send in the pawns first. Sure. So the first part of this expansion, we were facing the ogres that were just out of basic training. Now we're getting the ones that got. They've leveled up. They got, they've leveled up their ogre subclass a little bit.
I think you're forgetting how long it took us to beat those ogres the first time.
They paid $30 virtual to have that subclass maxed out, so they didn't have to spend time to then go up against us.
There it is.
So I think Oryx is actually the taken version of these is actually the pay to win version of these characters.
That's right. Yeah. And that's why LFG is going to be pissed off right now at the challenge mode.
Right.
Going up against sweaty AI.
Sweaty AI. Those damn sweaty AI.
All right. So now we've seen all the challenge modes. What do you guys think in total? Was it a success? Was it a failure? What would you change for the next raid?
I'll go first here. I think overall challenge mode was a success in the same way Prison of Elders was a success.
So it was an abysmal failure.
No. We learned a lot of really good shit. We learned a lot of really good shit from Prison of Elders. You have to admit that.
All right.
We learned a lot of really good stuff from there. I think we learned a lot of really good stuff from challenge modes as well. People like the idea of guaranteed loot from challenge modes for doing a specific task. I think everyone can agree with that. And especially since that that the guaranteed part of that loot is like max level loot when we have this current system in place. People liked that it was like it wasn't, you didn't have to go against a super god mode Golgoroth when you went against Golgoroth that week. Like he wasn't a huge tank any more than he currently was. You could either do the challenge or not. So the challenge itself was optional. I think that's a really good thing to take away from it as well. It would be really nice if there was some sort of confirmation during the fight about the actual challenge, because there was that huge confusion with War Priest during the first week.
I agree with most of that. I think that the mystery, and actually the best thing about challenge mode is for raid teams that have raided together and have chosen to go in blind the first time and then get to go into the challenge mode blind and actually figure it out. So if you got to do that, I actually think that's the most satisfying part of the challenge. Is that, hey, this is something that you've done, you're aware of the mechanics. Now figure out a specific way to do it to get this special loot and reward. And for me, that was the most fun part about it when we were doing that on the night it opened. If I had done it and heard about, you just have to do the 16 orb strategy, it would have been a lot more gas just kind of let out for me on the challenge mode. I would have been like, well, all right. I mean, cool. So I think in that sense of like, you've been raiding with your team, you've built a team of raiders that you all connect with, and then getting to do this challenge with something that you've already done before. That's exciting. And yeah, the loot's fantastic. So I like that. I don't want that to change in the future. But aside from that, they need to maybe change the name of it slightly.
To something to denote that it's not a challenge in the way that it can be more difficult, but it's a different task a different way to complete the boss. Versus the stream was talking about it being called mission mode. Like, here's your mission in the raid. Do this a specific way. And I was like, that makes sense. Because there's other teams that just absolutely wipe it, and then there's going to be LFG teams that have a difficulty with it. And everything in between. Some LFGs are going to knock it out right away. So
yeah, I was on an LFG that knocked it out of the park first try. So you never know. You never know. You can usually tell, though, if Golgoroth goes down in 3 damage cycles, you can usually tell, like, okay, these guys are good.
You can tell like in the opening fight, trying to get into War Priest, if like everyone keeps dying, you're like, oh, okay, it's gonna be one of those runs.
The problem is, if I'm streaming, that is usually my fault.
So I'm
reading the chat while I'm supposed to be running down to take that that totem.
Wow, Briar. Wow, is this regular raid group, Briar? God.
Wow. I would like to actually see him change the challenge modes quite a bit. I would like to see better gear drop from hard mode and separate the gear from challenge modes. That way, the average player wouldn't feel like they're being left out if they couldn't complete challenge mode. Like if it was just emblems or shaders or stuff that were coming out of challenge mode, you could hit 320 by going hard mode. I feel like that would free Bungie up to make these things really difficult, and I would like to see that. I would like to see an end game activity that is just a monster to complete. I think it would add longevity to the raid. It would add interest. I think it'd be really fun to see like a really elite level hard mode challenge. But I don't think they can do that. They'll make too many people upset if they tie it to getting the good gear. Like right now, the only really reasonable way to get to 320 is by completing those challenge modes, and to cover that behind something that's really difficult, I don't think works. But if they were just to give us the good gear at 320, or give us the good gear from regular hard mode, instead of this crappy RNG that we'd be getting, and then give us a shader or something for completing challenge mode, I think that would work, and I would like to see it be a lot more difficult than it is.
Yeah, I can agree with that too. Definitely. That is one of the things that I think they could have touched on a little more, make it a little more difficult. But if they did that, I really think if they wanted to see that level of difficulty, they might have to do like a separate version of the raid. If I could take just a small second, guys. Control Freak sent me a bunch of stuff to test, and I got to test it out. Yeah, I don't know if you guys have used their products. I got some Control Freaks a while back to use with like my scuff to protect the thumbsticks a little bit more, and I really like them. So if you guys are interested in some, we're going to be doing a giveaway. So yeah, I'm probably going to end up giving all these away because I'm using the FPS Galaxies, which were originally designed for Destiny. So yeah, it's a shameless plug. I see what's going on in the chat there. It's a shameless plug, yeah. Now, I use the Galaxies on my Xbox One. I'm going to keep those and not give them away. But yeah, we're going to be giving away some of the PS4 stuff. We can probably give away a little bit more. Tell the guys at Control Freak to send some stuff out. Probably give them away once we post this to YouTube. And we'll do like giveaway in the comments section. Like if you reply in the comments section of the YouTube post of this, if you want some of these. We got like some grips for the controller. We got some the CQC signatures, the FPS-free Galaxies for PS4, and some other neat stuff. If you guys want to try it out, go for it. If you have a scuff, or if you just don't want your thumbsticks to fall apart, it's a nice way to kind of protect those.
That is
yeah, that completely derailed the conversation. We'll get better at that as time goes on.
Damn, that plug. Let's go.
Jesus Christ!
We just went to a commercial break.
We should have something change. We should have something change in like the comments every time. Be like, Bungo, please nerf last word to enter in the comments or something like that.
Oh Jesus, no.
Okay, sorry. Not that.
Hashtag save the hammers. That's my personal suggestion.
Save the hammers.
Save the hammers.
Get out of here.
I'm with Briar on that one.
Both you guys, get out of here.
All right, Pope. I'm sorry I interrupted you before. What was?
No, I was just gonna. I was gonna see if we could spend some time talking to the chat. Maybe bring up some questions from Twitter.
I got a whole bunch of Twitter questions, and if we want to salt in some chat questions as well, chat. If you want to ask some questions, we'll try and get them in here too.
I'll copy and paste any chat questions that I deem worthy. So
all right,
I know you guys have been asking them for the entire time, but just go ahead and keep asking them.
I think this is the best question I've seen all night, actually. Jeff McClain at jeff.steak says, yeah, why are you doing this and not watching Star Wars?
Oh my God. Can I tell my story? Can I tell my story?
You can tell your story. You can tell your story.
Respect again, you might want to keep it to yourself.
All right. Well, so don't hate me, but I had plans tonight to stream this, and it was really important to me to do that. But an hour before I was about to leave work to come home, and I got a call. A friend of mine said, "Hey, I have 4 tickets, a private streaming of Star Wars tonight at 7. 2 of them are for you. Bring your son. Let's go." But I'm like, no, I have commitments. I got to stream at 6:30, so I turned them down. This was a private showing, private theater, would have been amazing, custom, just catered. I'm an idiot, but
sounds like you turned down a rich friend, by the way, right?
A little bit.
That sounds like a rich friend.
We would have forgiven you. The show would have gone on without you.
All I'm saying is that I turned them down for you guys.
Aww. And not just us three here, us other 3 here. Everyone in the chat, he turned down to see Star Wars.
Oh, I thought he was looking like right at me when he said that. I was taking it personally,
like deep into the soul.
Looking at you.
Like goes.
I'm looking at you and
like resonates deep within your chest. Yeah, yeah, I felt that too.
All right.
All right. So this one is a little bit hostile. But I thought it was actually a strong enough question that I was going to put it on here. So Bezio at Mobile Fun Games. Why most of the people said in the Planet Destiny podcast that they will not be okay if Bungie sells non-cosmetic microtransactions, but when Bungie started selling them, they are immediately okay with them being sold. So he's basically asking, why are we okay with Bungie selling non-cosmetic transactions after we said we wouldn't be?
I remember that from the Twitter from Twitter messages. He's calling us out basically
directly.
Yeah, earlier in the year we said that we were okay as long as they didn't do this, and then now they're doing it. And why are we okay with it now? Does anybody want to take this? I know.
Well, okay, I'll take it. I'll take a stab. Mainly. Right now, they're not, like I said, they're not giving engrams. Like, you can't buy a pack of exotic engrams. Mm-hmm. That's different from getting sparrows, in my opinion, because you can't take the sparrow into the raid right now and knock out the war priest with your sparrow skills.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe you guys
not
can.
Yet.
Maybe you guys can. Not me. I have not personally.
The legend himself hasn't tried it yet, but soon.
Right? So they're definitely getting real close and warm and uncomfortable to the zone. But for me, they haven't passed over to that zone of being like, okay, like I said, like the engram packs or unlock all of the missions so you get the rewards for a price. Like, that would be ridiculous. I feel like that is pay to win, or is in that like paying money to get those rewards.
Yeah. See, for me, the whole thing was like, I will admit I don't like the fact that they are already so quickly stepping away from the cosmetic side of things. But we still aren't at the point where it's, 100% a pay to win thing. I do not support the fact that they're moving away from cosmetic stuff only in it.
Well, ultimately, we're not Bungie. We don't get to make this decision. It doesn't matter what we think or say. They're going to do what they want. So what input do you think that we're giving Bungie that our opinions matter here?
Well,
we're not going to end the podcast and be like, no more episodes of the podcast.
That's it. I've had it.
Yo, this is
selling sparrows.
Yo, I'm quitting PlanetDestiny. We're done. I'm shutting down the channel.
Lethos is one of our subscribers in the chat. He says, it's not like we can stop it. So the question becomes, where do you draw the line? And
right here.
Right here is that I draw the line when I get killed by something that I have to pay for.
Yeah.
That's where I draw the line.
Exactly right.
If I get killed by if they sell the next Destiny 2's version of Thorn is sold by Tess for $199, that's where I'll draw the line. At these current prices, it would be $30.
Your $30 Thorn enhancement package to show that you really care about how big your EP is. And you can pay for a $10 virtual pill that will increase your critical damage for 24 hours.
So
it'll also cause a set of truck nuts to swing from the front of Thorn too.
Truck nuts out Thorn.
Truck nuts. Yep. Hey, that's a cosmetic thing I'd pay for. I want
that. On you have truck nuts hanging off the back of your Sparrow.
If I could have like little fuzzy dice on my Sparrow, I'd throw money at that.
Hell yeah!
Oh my god, somebody needs to make an image of that. That would be hilarious. Agent Orange at I'm Agent Orange asks, any advice for those with limited time to play? Pretty much, what do you feel is the best use of our time to get gear?
Sparrow Racing League.
Sparrow Racing
right now. Yeah.
I still say it's the Vanguard Strike playlist. I think you get a ton of legendaries. You build them up really quick. Once you can afford to buy 3 coins, start buying those and using those. And I think you can. You're still going to take some time, but I think you can build up a character pretty quick in there.
Yeah,
and then you want to get into the raid as soon as you can. Get into the raid.
Yeah, it definitely feels like those heroic strikes are the biggest payoff for time investment.
I don't even think you got to go into the heroic ones. I think you could do just the. Yeah.
I feel like you get more, don't you?
I haven't noticed that I get more if I do them. I feel like it just takes longer to get through them.
Yeah, I don't. I found there's no difference, but maybe it's just me. Really? I have no statistical evidence, but like when I'm
Hope Berry is RNG blessed.
I do get.
Yeah, your RNG is legend, man. Like people look up to be. But one day I'll be a grown-up guardian and have Pope Bear's RNG. One day. Here's hoping, guys.
Hey, they owed me. It was 35 days before I got the Galahorn. So
35
days played time. You should clear that
play
up.
Time. Wow, that's insane.
Mine was 1,500 hours. How many days is that?
I don't know.
I mean, math.
I need to find out.
Probably
right
somewhere
now.
around that.
On the fly here. While Tefty's doing the math over there.
I got shafted pretty hard on that. So
let's get into the question. Simo ZX says, despite year 2's event focus, do you believe raid and story content will exist?
Oh my God!
62 days.
62 days.
62.
I did not see a number that high coming.
62.5. If that was a weapon balance change, it would have gotten rounded up to 63.
Come on.
That's bad RNG right there.
That was awful RNG, right? Yeah. What the hell?
Right. You deserved. I mean, if you had gotten it with that beard and the Galahorn, you would have been unstoppable. So it was the game leveling the playing field.
Thus, my year 1 legend has not become renowned. So, well.
Yeah, you missed that opportunity. Sorry.
Missed.
So, year 2's event focus. Do you believe raid and story content will exist?
Yes. I that would be so unbelievably foolish of them to not have any further development of the story. We cannot last a whole year without any story or any new raid or anything like that. We absolutely
I think
cannot.
if it doesn't come out by the time that the Division comes out.
Yep.
Dear Santa, please bring me to GTX 980 Ti for Christmas, please.
Please bring me a computer that costs more than my car by a significant factor.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
Bretto March Stand at Bretto March Stand says, thoughts on Iron Banner PlayStation exclusives? I am looking forward to being a PlayStation 4 player and getting it, but I don't like that Xbox One users aren't getting this stuff.
You know what the big problem with it is? And this is why what we talked about with Wally, it's that it's a whole year.
Yeah.
The year is stupid. It really is stupid. A month, it's like, all right, well, at least you're going to see it in a month. That's fine.
You'll get it next Iron Banner. There you go.
Yeah.
Call of Duty
but a
had
year?
it right
I mean,
for 30 days between Xbox to PlayStation was 30 days, and it was decent. It was doable. You didn't get the newness, the new hotness that you got when it was just coming out. So that was the bonus. You got the new hotness, you know?
No. You know what was awesome, Pope, was having that game on both consoles, playing it for a month on the Xbox 360, then jumping on the PS3 when everybody was still trying to figure it out.
Yeah. Just
good gameplays came out of that, my friend. Good
that is it. I'm
Bro,
telling you.
strats.
Oh yeah.
Damn.
Oh yeah. You
It's
get
like
that.
it's like
Bro,
jumping
strats.
into the classic playlists in Destiny where like got a bunch of level 14s running around. They're like,
Oh
what's
my
that?
God.
What's that weapon that's two-shotting me? Oh, this is Hawkmoon, my dear.
They're like,
That was
I'm selling
creepy.
this game. Bye-bye.
All right. Times Vengeance at the MQ9 Reaper says, King's Fall is a solid raid, but what makes the Vault of Glass the raid standard in Destiny? I would imagine that we might have some disagreements on the basis of this question.
Yeah, that's a really tough one. You know what I said earlier about the streamability? Like, I think King's Fall is a fantastic example of a raid, and it's my favorite. But in terms of replayability and streamability, Vault of Glass takes the cake. And then Crota's End is actually more streamable than King's Fall, in my opinion. So
that's a specific viewpoint that not everybody's going to have to look at.
No, totally.
But
I'm definitely gonna have a skewed view on that. But there's something really balanced with the fact that you can jump in, or you were able to jump in to Vault of Glass and play with guys that maybe had never played it, only played it a few times, and you were almost always guaranteed to get through it. Almost always.
Generally,
it was like an 80 to 90%.
If that person, if you could, teach that person, then yeah, like it was more
when you
teaching
can predict who was going to get teleported at the end during the Atheon fight to Mars or Venus. Once they changed that up, I felt like it got a little harder for LFGs when they randomized the teleporting.
Yeah. I think that King's Fall has become the new standard for raids. So I challenge the question, the base of the question. I think that that's the new level. Yeah, I liked Vault of Glass. Don't get me wrong, but I like King's Fall better.
She's like your first girlfriend. You'll always remember her, but
she was
not
cute.
necessarily the one you married.
Cute, right? But I got kids with this one. So
Crota's End is like the crazy one that you'll never forget.
Yeah,
but
man,
definitely
she
didn't marry her.
Nonsense.
But she stuck around way too fucking long.
I need to meet a
Fast.
I mean, I don't know about you guys right now, but I could really use a Crota's End in my life.
you want to run past three lantern faces? Three lanterns? Is that what you're saying? Sorry, that was a very obscure joke.
I didn't even realize I did this, but I got another question from the same guy, Times of Vengeance at the MQ9 Reaper. What are your thoughts on how weapons are performing in the Crucible? We kind of touched on this. What do you guys think? You like it? You dislike it? Short answers here.
I haven't played enough to not dislike yet.
Outside of Thorn and Last Word, it's performing really well. I think the slower rate of fire pulse rifles like Ludmilla, Spare Change, need to have their damage bumped up just a hair because there's no point in using them right now. Aside from that, we're in a very, very balanced state overall, I think.
All right. Let's see here. Matt at /. Do you think Bungie has a plan after the Taken King's release, large DLC wise, or are they kind of stalling until Destiny 2 is ready?
Well,
that
was answered in last week's last week's weekly update.
Yeah, the answer to that is that we are going to get a content drop that is going to be larger than we've seen, but not as large as Taken King, but larger than what we've seen. So something probably looking like the Dark Below.
Yeah, or around that. I think that's the kind of the size that we're throwing around is around Dark Below size. We'll probably get
it's a lot to assume. I think.
Yeah, it is a lot.
It's such a wide variable.
Yeah,
there is a huge
variable. Like it might be a raid, it might not be.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. The train might be going 3 miles an hour, or it may be going 200.
Yeah, but somewhere between that.
Somewhere
so
between that,
it's
you'll
going
be able to
100
jump
miles
on that train.
Yeah, the train might have a cart, or it might have 20 carts.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know.
We do not know. The Off Deviant asks, what kind of would we like to see more NPCs in the tower and out on patrol, and like what kind of NPCs?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
Patrol.
Patrol
NPCs
Patrol.
just like that. It felt like it was missing right away. Like we got into this like open world is a stretch, but we got into this kind of big area, and then there was nothing in there. And you're like, what? Wait a minute. I expected much more out of the patrol areas in Vanilla Destiny. I still expect more out of them.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think
patrol
everyone wants to
NPCs
see
would
that.
be amazing.
Yeah.
I would love to see like,
and I'd like
just conversations, all sorts of stuff they could do with that.
What I'd really like to see is in WoW, there are these kind of the world feels more alive because like you'll just be kind of like tooling around, then all of a sudden you see a bunch of mobs attacking this thing. You go over there and the mob is whatever everything's attacking is something friendly, and you're like, oh, let's see what happens, and you kill everything, and then that mob like goes, oh, hey, thanks for helping me, and it'll give you like a quest or something. Like random events like that out in the world would be really cool. Like you find a random NPC guardian who's getting completely overwhelmed by by fallen captains or something right there, and if you go kill all of them really quickly, then you can maybe he'll give you a quest to like go find a thing, and that'll lead to things and exotic content.
It'd be so cool if you got your exotic quest lines from doing that in from NPC in the patrol. I think it would be cool in this.
Mm-hmm. I got one from Chad here. From Infrared Arrow, do you think Bungie will patch challenges to include 320 class items and ghosts as drops? You keep getting shafted by totems and sisters for class items and ghost shells. And do we really need 320 artifacts? Come on.
I don't think we really need artifacts. I think they're completely they're just a made up piece of RNG that if they had some kind of physical representation on our character, or if they serve some purpose, I would like them, but they don't do anything. So as long as I have a 321 equipped, I'm happy. What's that?
They allow you to make more orbs.
They allow you to make more orbs if you have like that weapon that has elemental damage on it, so you can actually land that precision shot to maybe spawn that orb. That
some of them are like grenade kills with solar.
Some are grenade
kills.
Yeah, I seem to only get precision. I get like precision void, which is great because my 1,000-yard stare was void. So until I got the 320 artifact, that was good. But then once I got that, I'm on like solar. I'm on like solar melee kills now or something.
Yeah,
so it's not.
I feel like a lot of it's like a stepping stone for Bungie getting more and more towards an RPG MMO. Like it feels like they're like, we kind of need this, and now it's in there. We're kind of like, do we really need this? And they're like, well, we are making an RPG.
Yeah. At the start of Taken King, I was like down for like how they separated the armors into like solar, void, and arc. But now that I'm playing, I don't really like it because I switch between my subclasses so often. Like if I'm playing a Titan, I'll switch between all three of them like at random, based on the mood I'm in. So I don't really like having to collect armor sets for each of those. It feels a lot like in Prison Elders, where the first, at first you're like, do I have to collect an armor set for each of the different races in the Prison Elders? I don't want to do that. So I'm kind of like, I don't like this actually. I kind of want to see that go away. Keith Ford at Hobo That Way. Are you guys disappointed in the 50 calcified frag reward?
We don't know.
We don't know.
Ultimately yet.
I am right now.
I am right now because we have that blueprint thing there, and everyone thought like, oh, 50 fragments. That would totally make sense to open up some sort of quest line, to immediately open up a quest line, not if it's time gated or whatever. If that wasn't there, then I'd probably be like, oh, well, it's a shader. I guess I still would want something more.
We did already get an exotic weapon for 47.
Yeah.
For 40, yeah. Wait, 45.
45, yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
And so this is my prediction, and I think it's going to be in the 21st of every month. They did the 7th with the Sleeper Cell, or Sleeper Stimulant. I think it's going to be the 21st because 3 times 7, Bungie loves 7, and they're slut for 3s now with Destiny. So if you have 50 fragments, December 21st, I'm wagering my bet.
I think it's going to be a new, like a story mission with a side?
I think it's going to be exotic quest line.
Cool. Oh, you think it's going to be an exotic quest line that shows up in the tower?
That thing could be a bug as well. Like, just that thing, because that thing only showed...
break my heart, Holtz.
It just showed up when you bought Mida Multi-Tool. Like, that was it, right? You bought Mida, and then that new thing showed up. I'm like, that's weird.
I mean, we've seen in the past that they've opened up, they've time-gated these things.
Mm-hmm.
So it's entirely possible that on Tuesday we'll find out there's some additional thing.
Yeah,
I wouldn't get your hopes up. I wouldn't count on it. Don't get disappointed if it doesn't happen. Be surprised if it does.
If it is just a dirty ass package from Eris Morn with like a 283 armor thing in there and a shader,
you'd be glad about your 3 legendary marks.
A dirty ass package from Eris.
Seriously, she's like, here's this shader. Looks ugly on Hunters, beautiful on Titans, and here's a 286 armor or a class piece. Are you happy?
I mean,
no Eris.
All right, what else we got? Matthew Perry. Hey, Matthew Perry follows us.
Hey, Matthew Perry.
Oh my God.
It's the Matthew Perry.
Such a fan.
The last word and Mida are very prevalent in the Crucible. Do you foresee a nerf?
Not for Mida. Not for Mida. I see some rebalancing for last word, probably.
What would you do to it specifically?
That's something for someone who actually uses the last word more than me. I do not use it enough to accurately talk about it. That's the safest response I can give to that.
Okay. Anybody else got anything they want to add to this?
For the last word, what would I do with it?
The last word and Mida are very prevalent in the Crucible. Do you foresee a nerf?
No. I think they're in a good place. I think that they're exotic for a reason. They're going to be used. I think that some of the other weapons can be balanced around it, but there needs to be more of a. I think that the only one that of those two, I wouldn't put those two together. I would put last word different than that. I think there needs to be an adjustment to last word, in its range, and that's it. The range is back to being stupid. So
I was using it last night and I was dealing that to a few people with some crazy distance on the last word, and I was like, that's a little much. But again, the gun shouldn't be in the garbage. It shouldn't be in the garbage. It's exotic.
Not.
So yeah, pull back in the range.
All right, this is the last Twitter question I have for the day. It's David Nedich at David Bean Jammin. Are you upset that emotes are possible Nightfall rewards instead of real gear?
No, I was excited.
I know, I'm happy too because it just means I don't have to buy them.
Yeah, I got it. That's what I think they should do. I think they should have everything everything that is eligible to be sold should be at some point in the RNG drop system, whether it's rare or not, but it should be something that you don't have to buy, you can earn in game. I don't think there should be anything that you should have to spend money on, but if you want it quicker, you can buy it.
Ugh.
I know you and I are going to disagree, but we've already talked about that. But
we're going to disagree on that. But can those emotes drop if you already have them? Like,
every time I've gotten a drop of an emote, I've gotten it twice. It's been emotes that I did not have from. Okay. It's a 2015 package, and it's been one that I didn't have.
Okay.
So maybe that's luck, but I already had like 90% of them. So.
What if this is like your first time running the Nightfall or something, and you were really looking forward to getting an actual piece of loot, and you get a stupid sparrow horn or something? Okay,
let's face it, you're better off using 3 coins in the Vanguard Strike playlist than you are doing a Nightfall. If you want rewards, you're wasting your time in the Nightfall.
That's true, but I mean, still, some people can't farm 3 coins. They don't have enough strange coins to buy enough 3 coins.
You know how you get more strange coins?
Then run the Nightfall. Run the Nightfall, and you may get like 20, which will yield quite a bit.
So regular strikes, though. Regular strikes.
Yeah, regular strikes, they drop like candy, too. They drop from the Crucible all the time, too.
Yeah.
I run out every week. I buy 3 coins. I buy all the 3 coins I can, and then by the next week I have like 200 strange coins.
Well, to be honest with you, I rather get 3 coins in the Nightfall and then use them to get exotic engrams. Like, think about it. If you do the Nightfall, you're going to get maybe 1 exotic, right? Mm-hmm. You get 23 coins. You're probably going to get at least 3.
Hopefully. I used, I think it was 20 this week and only got 1.
It's RNG.
Yeah, it's RNG, so it goes in waves. The Off Deviant asks, do you feel like the shortcuts in Sparrow Racing are worth it? I feel like I end up losing my position because I choose to take a shortcut. You guys have
some are.
Real?
Yeah,
basically,
I got no comment on
it. For me, it comes down to, like, do I have max charges on my Sparrow? Am I going the maximum speed that I could possibly go right now? And so if you're going max speed, then yes, taking that shortcut is generally going to be worth it, because you'll usually miss 1 or 2 gates, but it'll put you in enough position that you should be able to hit another gate and then regain your boost speed. Yeah. So yes, it is worth taking them, but only if you're at max charges already.
Some of them,
not, then no.
It depends on the shortcut. It's really situational, because some of the shortcuts, like if you take it, you avoid like a couple of really tricky turns, and it sets you up perfectly for the next gate. Other ones, it seems like you're just as fast going around those turns if you can. It really is situational. The one on Mars where you go over the jump instead of going like through the tunnel and then bending really right.
Yeah, that one's
like
bad.
Going under through the tunnel, just don't even take that one. That one's not even worth taking, because you can, right when you go through the boost gate, just tap the right thumbstick to boost yourself to the right, and you'll immediately be going max speed straight line right up the ramp. That's a pro tip that actually took me a while to learn in Sparrow Racing, is to, when you're cornering, to be using those thumbsticks to make yourself turn faster. Like, you really corner on a dime. Like, if you're in the middle of a turn and then click that thumbstick on the left hand side, you'll just like whoop, whip around. It's a really good tip.
Yep.
And it's not intuitive. Like, you wouldn't think about it until. That's it for Twitter questions. We got anything more coming from? I got nothing else that I took out from the chat. Anyone else have anything? I gotta say that I really like doing this live. Doing this live, guys, was really fun.
Yeah. If you want to see more of these, make sure you comment on that video and let us know that you want to see more of them live. I guess
well played. GG, well played. GG no re. All right, guys, this was the 49th Planet Destiny podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in to our first trial run of streaming it.
Yeah,
I think it went well. If you guys want to find me
live.
A few hiccups. I'm getting the layout down. It'll go to a little better, but yeah.
Well, we'll get better at this, guys. So thank you so much. You guys are awesome. I'm Patrick Casey. You know where to find me. I'm on the YouTubes. I'm on the Twitters at Holtzman_PD. You can find me places.
I agree. Totally. You guys are awesome. You can find me on Twitter at The Briar Rabbit, on YouTube on the Briar Rabbit channel, or streaming right here on the Planet Destiny Twitch page.
Oh, yeah. I am Tefty Teft. You can talk to me at Teft on Twitter. You can catch the streams that I do for Planet Destiny, which is going to be coming up real soon because I do the Xur stream tonight. So you guys might want to stick around for that if you don't have plans. Then also stream on my personal channel as well, twitch.tv/Tefty Teft.
And this has been Pope Bear. You can always find me on Twitter at Pope Bear. I do a lot of conversations there that help this podcast and generate questions and move the conversation forward. So make sure you guys follow and are involved in that conversation throughout the week.
Very good. Oh, he's a kitty. It's a kitty. It's a kitty. It ain't a Twitch chat without a kitty. He's like, dude, put me down.
He's pissed. He's been sleeping underneath the desk the whole time.
He's like, why did you do this to me?
Put me down.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you next time. Hopefully, I think we'll try to do the 50th podcast live as well, so we can get that 50th podcast anniversary hype going. Bye, guys.